Tried all the rest? Learn from the best. Join WDGLC.com today.
Hey there, everybody. It's Wayne Defrancesco. Welcome to WayneDefrancesco.com. Hope you're enjoying the website. And we're looking at Inbee Park. She's winning everything. So the women's game seems to cycle into where one person starts to dominate. She's won 3 majors in a row. Go back a couple of years, and Yanni Sang was pretty much doing the same thing. Now what's interesting here is how Park's swing has changed over the last couple of years. I put this swing on here about 2 years ago on the right that you just saw, and then this one was just the other day. So let's compare these two swings first, and then we'll just talk about the swing she's using now. Have another shot that somebody had her on their range. I forget who this was, but thanks for posting this because I'm going to use it. So watch her takeaway here. So we see a little bit of a backup move. Now again, this is I think this is last year, which looks a lot like the one on the right here, which was 2 years ago. Now this camera is stable. I don't know about the position, so the lines might not be accurate, but you can see that it's definitely the club is underneath the plane there, and that's, you know, fairly substantial. So it gets a little behind her. And when the left arm is parallel, you'll see that shaft swings up onto the plane. And as it gets to the top, slightly crossed. So no particular lowering, almost a little bit of a lift in the start back, tiny pullback. And then when we watch the key move here is look at the waist dig back. This is really good here. This is very instructive for people. So right in this area here, you can see the waist dig, almost like she's sucking her belly button in. Look where the hands are going, and look where the shaft goes. Now, as is the case a lot of times when the club is a little crossed and then shallow, she's coming in and the right arm is pretty contracted or bent. Here you can see that's coming in high, but she started with her hands fairly high, so the club is not coming in way off from where she started, just a little bit, and she does work the shaft down there pretty good. So great release action here.
Learn the pivot compression golf swing. Visit WayneDefrancesco.com now.
Around to the left. And you can see right in there, you know, she's right up against the box lines and inside of it here. So nice work with the legs, and her cap is right out over the ball. And obviously, you know, as all good players do, she has lowered significantly, although all of that is in that forward transition move. So we can look at this swing from on the golf course, and you can see a little tiny lift to start, and there's that takeaway again. So I'm guessing that after a while she just, or her instructor decided that they were going to fix that takeaway. And you can see it, even though Takeaway's under, and the club is on the plane halfway up and crossed, and then there's the out move. You can see the head turn a little bit with the shot, which is significant to watch the cap move with that follow through. Great hip action there. And here's that other side of this one on the left from the face-on view. And what we're going to see here is something that's very common with women. Now this is slow-mo, so we don't get any tempo idea here. So a tiny little bit of a right load there, you can see that, and then it's real stable. And the hips are nicely in the box, so good job there. And we see an initial drive, and the club shallows. You see the pull in here. So another good job there. But look at the total amount of lateral movement, and I see this all the time with women that are good. The women that are good players is just a general straight. If you look at Michelle Wie, a general straightening of the. Now in this case, she doesn't straighten the knee immediately; it stays bent. But there's just a general lack of lateral movement here. So you can see the arms buckle up because the pulling kind of stops, and then the arms sort of take over. And she hits the ball dead flat-footed with the right foot. It's not really doing a whole lot. So as you can see, it's a little weak in the wrist. Look at the hands deliver. It definitely is forward-leaning, but that position there just doesn't look real supported by the pivot. And then she'll push through. So fully in the follow through, her left hip is nowhere, it's not anywhere past where it started, and then she'll drive it through. Alright, so let's go to a swing, a couple of swings from this year, and now she's beating the crap out of everybody. So here's an iron shot, and if we put it up next to that one from a couple years ago, let's take a look now. So watch the club head come up the plane there. So in a sense, you could say that that's an improvement. Although to do that, look at how she's lifting much more. Right, so from whatever bend that she started with here, you can see her kind of stand up. Of course, these cameras are moving all around. But watch how vertical this thing gets. She might be hitting a little longer club here, but still, that's pretty radically different. That's right on the plane. This one's way inside the ball. So it just looks shorter, more crossed. And then she just does the magic move where the hands come out. And the club manages to stay above the forearm, and then she just takes it left. Let's take a look at a longer swing. You'll see the same exact thing here. Stand up, move the club up the plane. So very little use of the pivot. The arms are just kind of sticking that club up there. Now she looks like a strong girl, and if you ask me, now look at this sidearm motion. It's really nice here. Watch the head turn. That release. So it's kind of a straight up to around. I think Don Trahan did a video where he was saying that she is pretty much doing whatever that was, Peak Performance Golf or something like that. And I'll tell you, it's it's interesting, but it just seems that if, women don't really have to hit the ball very far. She averages 237 yards off the tee, and yet she's killing everyone. I guess partially because she pretty much is in a streak now that's gone on for a while where she's making every putt that she looks at pretty much. So she knows where the ball's going. She's hitting it straight. She doesn't hit it very far. But on the women's tour, that's good enough. Because whatever they're playing, 63, 400, 500 yards, if you hit it 235, you're still hitting irons, and these girls can hit hybrids on a string. So there's just no
3:57 left to the hole, so just trying to get the ball in the fairway and in position for her third.
So there's really no emphasis on power in the game that they play. Let's watch this one here. And if we talk about tempo, we've seen that all the great men players work at about 3 to 1. Well, this thing's got to be 5 or 6 to 1. And that's another thing that you see. Hey, I'm just waiting for a woman to come along. I don't really understand what's happened to Yanni Singh. I'm going to have to see if I can get a couple shots of her swing. But, she had a swing worthy of, was powerful and rhythmical. And now you see a bevy of these girls who just are slow-mo on the backswing and then just pop it out there and then just hybrid it on the green and wait to make all the putts. It's impressive that she's winning all these tournaments, but I don't know. Watching somebody take it back in slow motion and hit it 230 yards isn't that exciting to me. I would imagine that, if there was that little, if the requirement for how far you needed to hit it on the men's tour was the same, you would see guys, maybe they would swing so slow and not try to hit the ball hard. Let's look at that one more time. So I've just always thought that women's golf is way different than men's golf, and 99% of that is just the golf course. The golf courses are just miles longer. Everything's more difficult. Greens are faster. Rough is higher. So it's just much more of a challenge. And the women can be more accuracy oriented and then just get it on the green and rely on their putting. So certainly she's not doing anything that I would teach in that backswing, and then in the forward swing she's pretty much doing everything that I would teach, which is pretty cool. So anyway, can't fault her, man. She's like beating everybody, so looking for a grand slam this year. Why not? Just, again, goes back to Tiger when he's winning. He's usually putting way better than everybody else. But I just thought it's interesting to see how she, by fixing her takeaway, she just lifted the club straight up. And with that out move, she can drop it back in, swing around to the left sidearm style, and she's just hitting the ball straight all the time. All right, so that's Inbee Park. Go Inbee.